Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5 is an order of operations problem, and what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to do this, and there is a specific order. There is a certain order, so we can't just do whatever we want. It would be similar to traffic, for instance. It's probably a good idea that we all decide to drive on the same side of the road. If we had some people going down the left side, some people down the right side, we'd have a lot of accidents and a lot of chaos. Well, it's kind of the same thing with this problem right here, which is that if we just kind of did whatever and we're like, maybe I'll subtract first and then maybe I'll do the exponent, it would be chaos. We'd have math accidents, and then we would end up with different answers. So just like driving, we want to have a uniform meaning a consistent way of doing things, right? Everybody's kind of on the same page doing the same thing. So that's what the order of operations are. That's what your PEMDAS is. So what it says is, it says, well, first of all, you do anything that's grouped in parentheses. I don't see any parentheses there. Next, what it says is do exponents. I do see an exponent right there, that 2 squared. So what I would do is I kind of treat this like a game where I make one move per turn. So my one move in this turn is going to be to do 2 squared, which is 4. And then you notice I just kind of rewrote everything else. I mean, you can do some of this mentally, but that's where you get yourself into some trouble and maybe make a mistake. So I would encourage you to do kind of one thing at a time. The next step says that I'm going to look for multiplication or division. What's different here, though, is it says from left to right. So as I look at it from left to right, there's multiplication. Then I'm going to keep scanning to see if there's any other, and there's not. So what I would do next is I would multiply those two numbers together. So I would have, in two ways you can think of this. You can think of this as 10 minus 15. 5 times 3 is 15. Or you could think of it as negative 5 times 3, which would be a negative 15 as well. And actually, I think I wanted to do that in red so we see what changed on this particular one. And then plus 4. All right, so we got that one done. Now the last part is add or subtract. So that's what we do last. But again, it's from left to right. And what I want to show you is that if you did it in a different order, you'd get a different answer. So let's say what we've got here, right? We're going to work it from left to right. So I realize that the A in PEMDAS always comes before the S, but it's from left to right. So just like you read from left to right, we look at these problems from left to right. So if I looked at those two numbers, 10 minus 15, same signs add, different signs subtract. So 15 minus 10 is 5. Keep the sign of the bigger, right? So we would say a negative 5. And then negative 5 plus 4, combine those two things. Again, different signs subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Keep the sign of the bigger, right? So it would be negative 1. Now, would I have got something different? Well, let's take a look. And you don't necessarily need to write this down. I just want you to kind of see what happens here. Let's say I do the addition first. So 15 plus 4 is 19. 10 minus 19, different signs subtract. 19 minus 10 is 9. More negatives. So a negative 9. So you see that we actually get two totally different answers. This is not correct, right? So it is important. It does make a difference. Right? It does make a difference how you do it. All right, so go ahead and pause now and try 5.2 and 5.3. All right, so should have had a chance to do that by now. 5.2 should have got 18. And then for 5.3, you should have got 16. So if you didn't get either one of those answers, go back, check your work. Maybe you just made a mistake with signs. Added wrong, subtracted wrong, something like that. Go back, check your work, and if you're still not able to figure out maybe the mistake there, then ask for some help before you move on.